घूम रहा है, हो सकता है कहीं फेस देखे थे, वो फेस इसमें आ नहीं रहा है इस मीटिंग में। अच्छा, हटा देता हूँ, हटा देना, तो हटा देना है। ये क्या है, वीडियो तो है नहीं।
Hello. Good morning. Good morning to every one of you.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम, गुड मॉर्निंग।
Good morning. Okay. Shall we wait for 2-3 minutes? Some more people may join, or shall we start?
Wait for 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, fine. I have forwarded the slides to in the group. You people can open. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I have forwarded the slides to the group, WhatsApp group.
Yes, we got it.
Yeah, you people can open, and if anybody is possible, you can share the slides also.
देखते आ जाते हैं कि स्क्रीन आ जाए उसके बाद।
Still only 6 people are there. Good morning. Shall we start? People are there online? Are you there? Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Can we start?
Okay, can we start or will wait still?
No, we can start.
Okay. Okay. Since last class, what we have seen, you people may recollect that. In this particular class, we are going to discuss about global sources. Those are all importance for anthropogenic sources. Actually, globally, what are the sources and including the anthropogenic sources, how it impacts on the global warming? That is the content of this particular unit. Any doubt? Any doubt? Why the noise is coming?
Madam, please share the screen.
That's what I sent my slides to the group. Anyone can do the slide sharing. Please do it, I said, because I am facing small problem in my system. That's what I told you before 10 minutes or 5 minutes before. Anyone can do means please do it. Otherwise, you all have the slides. You can open and see. Understand? People, please respond to me. Hello. Okay, leave it. Okay. So in this particular unit, what we are going to see about whatever the global sources, either it is man-made sources or natural sources, whatever it may be, how is it responsible for the global change or climate change? That's what we are going to discuss. In that, many parameters are involved because the climate science, it is a complex science because the earth climate is a complex system. Here, this climate science must account for the interplays between the oceans, clouds, forests, particulate matter in the air, seasonal temperature variation, and many other factors in addition to the increasing impact of human activities are influencing for this climate change. And climate change is predominantly by global warming only. When the global warming is happening, which refers to the long-term fluctuation in temperature, in terms of temperature, in terms of precipitation, wind, and other elements of Earth climate system. And the gases currently known to cause the greenhouse effect is including carbon dioxide, methane, oxides of nitrogen, CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbon, and hydrochlorofluorocarbon, and chloromethane. These are all, many components are responsible for this greenhouse gases, but many primary pollutants are also responsible for this greenhouse effect and global warming. Primary pollutant like carbon dioxide, which is only the critical or key parameter, influences on temperature of global temperature. But what is meant by greenhouse gases and global warming, we'll see. Because we are telling that entire climate change, which is reflected, that is, we can say, by the fact of global warming, which makes changes in climate. And because of that climate change, many changes is occurring globally that cannot be recovered. And when it is retained for quite a long time, then there is a huge changes like polar ice started melting and increasing the sea level, decreasing the land level. And because of that, many small islands are immersed in water. For that, we could not find out how much it went inside, how much it is lying also. So the many factors are influencing for this greenhouse gases as well as global warming. But what is typically happening? What does mean by greenhouse gas effect? What is meant by global warming? And these two factors, how it is being promoted by the anthropogenic activities. What is meant by anthropogenic activities? Anyone can say? What is meant by anthropogenic activity? Anyone is there in class or not? Hello? Hello, people are there or not? Please tell me. No one is there in the class. Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. We all are here.
Then no one is responding. I myself talk for quite a long time.
No. Only 7 participants are there.
Okay, you people are supposed to respond to me, na? Whether you heard me or not, how could I understand?
I am responding you, na? Always I am responding you.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So I was speaking about greenhouse gases and global warming. Did you hear about it? Okay. Hello.
Hello.
I was talking about global warming and greenhouse gases. Did you hear me? Shall I explain again? Otherwise, I'm asking. How these greenhouse gases and global warming is responsible for climate change, I have explained. Did you hear me? Otherwise, I have to explain again. I'm asking. Okay, we'll go ahead. Next one is greenhouse gases and global warming. In this, we have to understand what is meant by greenhouse gases and what is meant by greenhouse effects. And because of this greenhouse gases, how the global warming is happening, then what is meant by global warming? This global warming and greenhouse gases are mainly derived from where? That is by anthropogenic activities only. That's what I have asked the question, what is meant by anthropogenic activities? What is meant by anthropogenic activities? Anyone can say what is meant by anthropogenic activity?
Increase in heavy radiation, ma'am.
Okay. Then anything else? Anthropogenic activity I have asked. What is meant by anthropogenic? All these greenhouse gases increases and it is reflected in terms of global warming and climate changes. Those are all derived from the anthropogenic activities only. So what is meant by anthropogenic activity? Got my point? Okay, can I tell you?
Yes, ma'am.
Anthropogenic activities mean which is nothing but whatever the fossil fuel burning we are doing, whatever the land use changes which we are making, those are all emitted many air pollution to the atmosphere. That entire process is called anthropogenic activity. Either it may be burnt in power station or in industries or an automobile or domestic level or on street level, whatever it may be. Burning of fossil fuels as well as land use change. Land use changes which include many things, including forest fire, land use change pattern. After farming, we are making the land for again cultivation. Many activities all together they have mentioned as land use changes. So the simple definition of anthropogenic activities means burning of fossil fuel as well as other organic matter present in the earth's surface. When you are burning, which released or emitted many air pollutant into the atmosphere. At the same time, we are getting some useful product for energy conversion. The other factors, the entire activity is called anthropogenic activity. This anthropogenic activity is only the factor responsible for this global warming, as well as these are all called greenhouse gases. What is meant by greenhouse gases? What are the gases are called greenhouse gases? Few minutes before I told, I think many people may not be listen me.
Chlorofluorocarbon, madam.
Yeah, chlorofluorocarbon. Many are there. Many compounds. These chlorofluorocarbon are secondary pollutant that is derived from the primary pollutant. Okay. So now I will explain about the air pollutant. Generally, air pollutant are derived both from natural sources and human activities. That we have discussed in the first unit that what are the man-made sources, what are the natural sources. Natural sources include forest fires, and this forest fire which responds for these particulates, and the volcanites which gives the form of acid gases and the particulates in the atmosphere. Some of the biological process in soil which takes place that releases oxides of nitrogen into the atmosphere, and the lightning process through that and the dust due to the soil. Many reasons are there from the natural sources which are responsible for the pollutant emission. Whatever it may be the case through the natural sources, but a large portion of air pollutant are caused by human activities only. That is primarily by the combustion of fossil fuels. When fossil fuel is burned, the primary pollutants such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur or sulfur dioxide, hydrocarbon, they are collectively known as in the form of volatile organic carbons, and some of the airborne particulates. These are all the things responsible or are called greenhouse gases. Understand? From the fossil fuel, sometimes which contain some contaminant or additives that is in the form of heavy or toxic materials, which are also emitted as in the form of suspended particulates. Yesterday, I have given some work that I have asked what is meant by heavy metal. Anyone have has referred? Hello? Any one of you get answer for that? What is meant by heavy metals? People are there or not? What is meant by heavy metals? Did you check it? Okay. The greenhouse effect is, what is meant by greenhouse effect? We'll see. Actually, greenhouse effect is good or bad? Can you respond to me? Please interact with me, then I will tell more. Otherwise, whatever is there in your book, simply I will tell and escape. It depends on you only how you are responding. Based on that only I can tell more. Have you heard about the term greenhouse effect? Have you seen anywhere greenhouse?
Yes, ma'am.
What is meant by greenhouse? Have you seen the greenhouse anywhere, or do you know about greenhouse effect? Is it a useful one or it is a harmful one? So what is meant by greenhouse? Please tell me. Where you have seen, for what purpose people are using it? Where is it useful?
It is used to avoid the heavy radiation to fall on the earth directly, ma'am.
It is used to protect.
Yes, ma'am.
No. Sorry, ma'am, no. You just
No,
little thing, you some idea, but if you think in deeply, have you seen greenhouse anywhere? Why people have constructed these greenhouses?
Actually, greenhouse gases, changes in the atmospheric concentration of the gases can alter the balance of energy transfer between the atmosphere, space, land, and the ocean.
Okay. Okay. This is you are telling what is meant by greenhouse effect.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, what is where the greenhouse is used?
Pardon?
What is where the greenhouse house? Have you
Greenhouse.
seen it? Have you seen a greenhouse anywhere? What is the use of greenhouse? Okay, leave it. Have you seen any agriculture industries or research center
Yes.
anywhere? Some of the area they will be covered with either plastic sheets or plastic cloth totally, and inside they kept some plants. Have you seen anywhere?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the greenhouse gas absorbs the terrestrial radiation, leaving the surface of the earth and act like a blanket over the earth just to minimize the or keeping it warming.
Okay, that is greenhouse effect. Okay, I agree with you. I will define you very simply that you can remember it easily. Now, greenhouse, about the greenhouse, let me tell. From that, what you could grasp, from that you can understand. I told you that here and there people have made some green with polythene green sheet or cloth.
Polyhouses.
Polyhouses. That is with green color only. Why they are making in green color, you know that? Why that is called greenhouse, you know that? Actually, we are seeing nowadays, earlier days we could find out 1 or 2, 3 types of brinjal, 1 or 2 types of tomato, 1 or 2 types of bhindi, rice and all. Now many hybrid varieties have come into the market, isn't it? Why they have developed to meet the demand? They have to demand as per the direct increasing population. Proportionally, they have to develop the food material also. For that, what people have to do, short rotation crop, they have to develop by the hybridization process or biotechnology developed process or cloning process. So they, from the 6 months to it is bring down to 3 months harvesting cultivation practices for vegetables, pulses, even for rice also. How they are developing? Initially, they develop that hybridization things in the laboratory level. In the lab or at the laboratory, the people are maintaining at 10 degrees centigrade. They are doing the cloning. Cloning means 2 different, same variety, they will get the 2 different quality product. They combine together, they make a hybridization. That a hybrid product, how is it performing in the lab to land technology, they have to check. Once they tried in the lab, directly they will go to the land, means it may not survive. So in the middle, we have to do the trial. Because the lab test, people are doing at 10 degrees centigrade only throughout the 24 hours into how long they are doing the test. The 10 degrees centigrade, same temperature we cannot provide in the field level. So before that, what people are doing, they are, and also in land technology, when the plant is growing, the temperature will be up and down. Today may be 40, tomorrow may be 35, the day after tomorrow may be 30, and again it may be 45. So the temperature will go up and down. The plant supposed to be tolerate all these conditions, then only which gives yield. So before it coming to the land, from the lab, it will be cultivated in a greenhouse. Greenhouse means which is nothing but the people are providing the uniform condition at around 25 to 30 degrees centigrade to grow the plants. Under that circumstance, the plant can be grown or not. First, they do the trial. If there it is succeeded, then they will go to the next level. So the purpose of greenhouse is for a good thing to grow the plant which provide the uniform condition throughout the 24 hours for the plant. Under that circumstances, how that hybrid product or the plant will be performed. That is the purpose of greenhouse. Here, the same concept will be useful for applicable here. Greenhouse effect means which is nothing but a function of concentration of water vapor, carbon dioxide, and other few trace gases in the atmosphere, whatever the gases of the atmosphere which is available, which absorb the solar radiation, that is terrestrial radiation, which leaving the surface of the earth. Actually, that I will explain in the next part. When the solar radiation falling onto the earth's surface, we should not think that the entire solar radiation is falling on the earth's surface. Some of them will be reflected, some of them will be absorbed, some of them will be, before reaching the earth's surface, it will be reflected by the terrestrial, we can say troposphere, ozone layer. So some of them only will be coming into the earth's surface. When it is reflected from the earth's surface, those radiation will be absorbed by the trace gases, whatever the gases I have mentioned, that is water vapor, carbon dioxide, and some of the gases which are presented in the atmosphere. So what will happen? And that time this is acting like a blanket over the earth's surface, and always which keeps the earth's surface as little warm. If this warmness is not there, there will not be any photosynthesis, there will not be any respiration, there will not be any movement of particles from one place to another place. That means even human being also cannot be moved from one place to another place. So we need to have considerable temperature in the earth's surface, then only all the activities will be happening as per the physical phenomena. Understand? If this is not happening means, then there will not be any warmness in the earth's surface, there will not be any photosynthesis and respiration. If these two things are not happening means, there will not be any living things on the earth's surface. This is the concept. This is called greenhouse effect. The same effect only people are maintaining in the greenhouse for growing the plant to maintain the uniform temperature. Here the earth's surface is getting warmed and which behaves like a blanket over the earth's surface, so the temperature is being maintained. In greenhouse, the poly materials are behaving like a blanket. The temperature will be maintained over there by artificial condition. Here by natural process, everything is being maintained to make the warmness of earth's surface. For example, if the changes in the atmospheric concentration of whatever the gases I said, which alter the balance of the energy transfer between the earth's surface to the atmosphere, space, land, and the ocean. If the heat transfer is occurring like this, there may be increasing of temperature or decreasing of temperature. A cause of these changes is called radiative forcing, because whenever the mentioned gas concentration is increasing, when it is increased, there will be a change in energy transfer between the atmosphere, space, land, and ocean. If it is increases, means that is called radiative forcing. Radiative forcing means which is nothing but a measure of changes in the energy available to the Earth atmosphere system. Always that will be increasing only. There will not be decreasing in concept. If it is increases, means that is called positive radiative forcing. That means the net increase in the absorption of energy by the Earth's atmosphere. Is it possible to happening the negative radiative forcing? People understand what is meant by positive radiative forcing? If you are not understanding means please ask me. If you are not responding means I will go to the next topic. Okay. There is always the change of temperature Are the net energy changes between the earth, space, ocean, land, or it will be positive only? There is no possibility to happening in a negative way. If negative radiative forcing is not at all possible, it will not take place also. Only positive radiative forcing is possible. So the net changes of temperature will be in increasing manner, that there will not be any decreasing manner. There will be a fluctuation, but it will not decreases. That's what I wanted to tell. And altogether, when we consider, when the heat transfer is occurring in the Earth atmosphere to the Earth's surface, which is based on how the carbon is changing in the global system. That is, there are different types of forms of carbon stocks in the Earth's surface. The global carbon cycle consists of various stocks of carbon in the Earth system and the flow of carbon between these stocks. How it is flowing. Carbon is in the form of inorganic carbon and organic carbon. Notably, CO2 is cycled between the atmosphere, ocean, and the terrestrial biosphere. The largest natural exchanges occur between the atmosphere and terrestrial biodata only. But between the atmosphere and ocean surface water is occurring maximum level. The carbon cycle has been linked in the changes in climate change, which has been recently observed by a group of people that is called Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change, that is IPPC. They have reported in 2002, which is stated that there is new and stronger evidence that most of the global warming, which is being observed over the last 50 years, it's mainly attributed by human activities only. And that the most of the observed warming over the last 50 years is mainly likely to have been increase in greenhouse gases concentration. These are all the response. This is only the reason for responsible for this greenhouse or global warming process. This carbon stock associated with the different ecosystem are stored in above and below the ground, that is in the form of biomass, dead organic matter, including human beings and soil. And this carbon is transferred within the ecosystem and to the other location by natural process and human activities, which affect the carbon flows majorly. And when one ecosystem component generally have additional effects influence the carbon accumulation or lost, or it is converted into some other compound. In your book, they have given one effect, how the carbon storage is happening in the atmosphere. And because of how the sedimentation is occurred and which is responsible for the global warming, they have explained. Due to the anthropogenic activity, that is by burning of fossil fuels and land use changes, which has been accelerated so much so that started uncontrolled experiment that carbon in the Earth's surface is started deposited. They have imagined that the process is taking place at 1 atmosphere pressure, that is, they have taken 760 mercury pressure and accumulated, it is around 3.3 plus or minus 0.02% level. They have explained how the fossil fuel is releasing the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and how the net terrestrial is taking and how net ocean uptake is there. From that air-sea exchange, how much and global net primary productivity by respiration and how much respiration, fire and other land use changes, how it changes. At last, they are telling that the sedimentation is around 0.2 in the sea surface and fossil fuel when we are continuously burning, which reflected at last and the accumulation is 3.3 and the variation is 0.2. It is being occurred in, that is based on the data related with 19th century. So when this is happening like this, we can understand anthropogenic source is only responsible for this carbon deposition or sedimentation in the atmosphere. And addition to this, the changes of carbon dioxide by human influences can be contributed by other greenhouses also. And this is the evidence of consistent change in greenhouse gases correlated with the human activity, which has leads to the IPPC conclusion, that is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which conclude that humans are increasing the greenhouse gases concentration continuously, and those gases are in large part driving climate change. Nowadays, throughout the world, globally, the people are talking about the global change only, global climate change only. Are you aware of it? People are highly highlighted on climate change nowadays. Earlier days, people are talking about environmental pollution. Then they were talking about industrial pollution control. Then they were talking about air pollution control measurements. Then they were talking about environmental management. Then ecosystem conservation now. And then after that, they were talking about global ozone depletion. Then global warming and greenhouse gases. Now the present trend is they are talking about the term climate change. All are interrelated parameters only. There is no specific, there is no different parameters, but everything is based on anthropogenic activities only. But one or other, the effect will be increasing, which will be affecting one by one. When the small area level, when it is affected, no one was bothering. When little more area, when it is affected, they have formed many rules and regulations. When it started affecting globally, then they have started talking about the global warming. Now, because of that global warming, that the climate started changes globally, then how the people can control the carbon dioxide, because carbon dioxide is only the factor responsible for this global warming. Because of global warming, only climate change is coming. Because of climate change, what are the effects are coming, we will discuss now. Hello, people are there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, people are hearing me or not? Is it interesting or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? I didn't get you. Some of you said something. I couldn't hear you, please.
We are hearing you, ma'am. It is interesting topic.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, now we will see what are the main principle which is responsible for the climate system. Climate system or climate change. There are three parameters they have discussed for the climate change. What are they? One is solar radiation and the earth energy balance. Solar radiation, how it balances the earth energy. And the second one is greenhouse effect, which is a natural process. How is it important for the living things? And how is it controlling the climate change now? And the third important one is anthropogenic influences on the climate change. About these three, we will see. Listen me carefully. Actually, what is the standard room temperature? We used to study in school STP condition, standard temperature and pressure. What is the temperature and pressure? Anyone can tell me, please? Hello. We'll go a little fast. We'll finish this unit today. Have you studied STP condition at anywhere? Or is it new to you all? Have you heard the term STP temperature? Even in intermediate, you people would have studied, no? If you are from science background means. Hello? No one in the class? Are you in the class? My God, thank you.
78, 68 degrees, around 68 or 70 degrees, ma'am, room temperature.
That is standard temperature you are telling?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then anything else?
It's a 25 degrees Celsius, ma'am.
Anybody else?
Room temperature normal 36 degrees centigrade, madam.
36, sir. Sir, we will die, sir. Every day we'll have 36 degree means we can't live. We have, instead of that, we can live in Rajasthan.
It is 25 degrees Celsius.
25 degrees, madam.
25 degrees centigrade. Okay, then. Anyone else? In intermediate, when you have studied physics and chemistry, you would have seen that the reaction is taking place at STP condition. They would have written and the temperature at 20 degree or 25 degrees centigrade, isn't it? Somebody said 25, it can be agreed, but it was around 20 degrees centigrade. But the real thing is totally different. I will tell you what is that. Actually, when the solar radiation, why the people are calling that is solar radiation? From the sun, the heat is coming, isn't it? The heat from the sun, we have to say. Otherwise, the light from the sun, we have to say. Instead of that, technically, people are speaking. So whatever the light or heat we are getting from the sun, they are telling that solar radiation. Why the term is called solar radiation? Even then, the solar radiation is also wrong sometimes. Okay, so leave it. Why it is called? The heat transferred from source to anywhere by 3 ways. One is heat conduction, another one is heat convection, third one is heat radiation. Conduction means from material to material, whatever the heat transfer is taking place, that is called conduction. From media to media, and the heat transfer is taking place, that is from source to media, that is called convection. From the source to substances, when the heat is transferred, that is called radiation. So from the sun, the heat radiation through the media, which reaches to us, so it is called a solar radiation. But the earth, sun provides an approximately 345 watts per square meter of heat energy to the earth's surface. Because whenever the light energy will hit on some substances, the light energy will be converted into heat energy. Always, the light waves or short waves. When it is hitting on something else, which will be converted into long wave, like a heat energy. When it is happening like that, this longer wavelength radiation will not be reflected back totally. Only the short wavelength will be absorbed, and which is started increasing the temperature. That's what the Earth's surface temperature is being increased due to the greenhouse effect phenomena. The same thing, the sun provides approximately 345 watts per meter squared of heat energy. That's what it is being mentioned, watts per meter squared. Watts per meter squared is a unit of energy. Okay. And that energy, when we are receiving into the atmosphere, but when it is reaches into the Earth's atmosphere, the real fact is totally varied. What happened? Exactly 30% of energy from the sun will be reflected back into the space by the clouds, and which effectively removes it from the energy balance of the Earth's surface, which will not be included in energy balance between the sun and Earth's surface. That 30%. And another 25% of energy is absorbed by the atmospheric gases. Whatever the gases is there in the atmosphere, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, some inert gases. Now, due to our anthropogenic or human activities, some of the greenhouse gases, those are all absorbed by the 25%. The remaining 45% of energy only absorbed by the Earth's surface. Understand? And this energy, the Earth eventually radiates this energy back out to the space in the form of long wavelength infrared radiation. Actually, when the result of absorption of incoming solar radiation is short waves radiation, and that is in the form of light energy, and when it is re-radiate, that is in the form of long wavelength heat energy, these two are the responsible for the overall global energy balance, which serves to maintain a relatively steady temperature on the Earth's surface year to year. Otherwise, during the summer, during the winter, during the rainy season, during the winter season, we cannot maintain to coordinate with this climate change. Understand my point? Understand my point?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the reason there will not be much climate change, because the overall heat distribution by the sun and how the temperature in the Earth's surface, and the sun and the earth surface, how it is re-radiates and absorb the energy which maintain the temperature every year. Okay, so this is the one of the parameter responsible for the climate change. And next one is greenhouse effect, a natural process. How is it? We'll see. According to the law of thermodynamics, what is meant by thermodynamics? What is meant by thermodynamics? Thermo means heat, dynamics means change. So the law of thermodynamics means the law of heat changes, which predicted that based on our earth surface and also the distance from the earth and the sun, based on all these things, the earth surface temperature is supposed to be an average of 18 degrees centigrade. You got my point? Now we are telling 36 degrees, 60 degrees, 40 degrees, 25 degrees. These are all because of many industrial development, industrial revolution and civilization. The temperature is started increases. So the people are using, instead of 18 degrees standard temperature, they are using 20 degrees centigrade, and it is being slowly changed into 25 degrees centigrade. Okay. But according to the thermodynamics, the earth surface is supposed to be in an average of 18 degrees centigrade only. That is based on the earth and sun distances and the size of the earth surface. Based on it's supposed to be 18 degrees centigrade. They are saying. But exactly, in fact, the earth surface temperature is supposed to be 15 degrees centigrade only. When they have calculated the surface of the earth surface, surface area of earth surface and ocean area, the approximate average temperature is supposed to be 15 degrees centigrade only. What could be the average temperature of Hyderabad? Anyone can say? Annual average temperature of Hyderabad. Anything I have asked wrong or what? I am asking the right question only now.
28, madam.
During the summer, it will be up to 40 degrees, ma'am.
Okay. In winter?
Around 18 degrees to 17 degrees.
So what would be the average temperature of Hyderabad, the annual average temperature?
It will be 24 to 25, ma'am.
You people are flukely answering or really knowingly you are telling? By fluke you are answering or what? I told you that based on the size of the earth and distance from the sun and earth surface, the average temperature is supposed to be 18 degrees. People have identified based on the laws of thermodynamics. Even then, that is not correct. That surface area of earth and surface area of ocean, it's supposed to be around 15 degrees only, they are telling. But nowadays, the temperature is keep on increasing due to many factors that I will explain. My small question is, what is the annual average temperature of Hyderabad? I am giving many questions to you people and I am giving many homework. No one is doing. Shall I stop doing like this? You will be very happy, isn't it? Last week I have given you some question. Anyone I have answered? Can answer to me now? Okay, very good. Leave it. Yeah, this is again I am giving as a homework. I may ask in the afternoon, otherwise I will take 1:30 to 3 o'clock class today. What is average annual temperature of Hyderabad? I said globally how it is, how much it is. So in Hyderabad, how much it is, you supposed to tell. Okay? And why there is this much difference? Actually, I wanted to tell you very reasonably, means you people can remember for a long time till when you are writing the exam. But you are not supporting to me like this to make you people to remember. Leave it. Why the difference in temperature from 15 to 18 degrees centigrade? They are telling the reason behind that. This reason for the difference is the effect of several gases such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, and methane that trap enough heat to warm the Earth's surface. So this is the reason they are telling that the Earth's surface temperature is little higher than whatever the predicted temperature as per the laws of thermodynamics. That is evidence from ancient ice and deep ocean sediments illustrates natural variability within the climate system over geological time. The majority of the scientific company thinks that the current acceleration of a warming trend has been driven by the anthropogenic activities only, and which releases carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Since the industrial revolution is started increasing, and the temperature reading reveals that the global mean surface temperature has increased by 0.6 degrees centigrade during the 20th century. You got my point. Now we are in 21st century. Yes or no?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Very good, Appa. Thank you. In 20th century itself, they found that 0.6 degrees centigrade temperature is being increased globally by industrial revolution, they said. In 21st century, how many thousands and millions of industries and vehicles came into the working conditions that we cannot estimate exactly. So the release of carbon dioxide will be in rising condition. The global surface temperature, how much it could be increased, that we cannot say. Even a single degree change in temperature would have severe impact on the earth and its ecosystem. The sea level has risen by between 10 to 20 centimeters in the 20th century due to the melting of glacier ice and polar ice. Because of that, and also this thermal expansion of ocean water is taking place. Due to that inverse nature of sea ice and temperature, sea ice thickness can be used as an indicator of global warming. You got it? 10 to 20 centimeters have started melting of ice in polar region, the glacier and polar ice, which increases the sea level by 10 to 20 centimeters, which will be changing the sea ice and temperature, sea ice thickness, and sometimes which making the thermohaline situation also. Thermohaline means temperature salt variation in water, because only pure water molecule can be melted. When the pure water molecule from the polar ice started melting, that water will come and join with mix with the ocean water only, sea water only. When in the huge quantity started mixing, means the salinity of the sea water will be started changing. When it changes like that, because of the ice water temperature will be less than the sea water temperature, so there will be change in temperature of sea water as well as salt content of sea water. These two are very important for aquatic animals or plants which are all there already existing in the seawater. Due to this is called thermohaline circulation. This thermohaline circulation as well as sea ice and sea ice thickness, sea ice temperature, and this started increasing the sea level altogether, which affect the lower lying area as well as the aquatic population. Aquatic population in the sense both aquatic animal and plants. So in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is reported that the thickness of sea ice in the Arctic has declined by 42%. It is not a small value, it is very, very big value. Since it was observed in 1950s, now 73 years gone. Now how much it would have been melted, that we do not know. How much thermohaline circulation is happening, how much animals and plants have been died in the sea water also, we do not know. Melting Arctic sea ice may be eventually lead to the global changes in the ocean thermohaline circulation, which is driven by difference in temperature and salinity, and which makes the climate changes globally, which affects severely in the entire ecosystem. So these are all the factors responsible for the climate change. Can we control this? How we can control? Because of that, many lower lying area immersed in water, many millions of people have died. We are not aware of it, but this is happening really. Understand?
Pool బాగుంది అసలు జడ సూపర్ ఉంది.
Anyone? Do you have any doubt? Okay, next one is whatever I spoke, it is very important. thing. It is based on both exam point of view and the subject knowledge. They will ask what is meant by global warming, what is meant by greenhouse effect, what is meant by climate change, write a note on it. Or sometimes they will ask you how the anthropogenic activity or industrial development or fossil fuel burning or organic matter combustion, how it affects this climate change or global warming. Everything they will ask in a different way for everything. Whatever the things I have explained, that is only the answer. Got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Anthropogenic influences on the climate. How it is changed? Already we knew that energy use, especially from fossil fuel combustion, which accounts for more than 2/3 of anthropogenic greenhouse gas emission into the atmosphere. During the process of extraction, processing, transporting, distributing, and burning of fossil fuels, all contribute to significant emissions of carbon dioxide. Along with that, the land use changes, that is, which is nothing but deforestation. Fossil fuels have caused the anthropogenic concentration of CO2 to rise by 30% only, but the average global growth in carbon dioxide from energy use alone between 1971 to 1998 was around 1.9% per year. Now you can think 2020 how much it could be. And the scenario modeled by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the cumulative release ranging from approximately 1,000 to 2,100 gigatons of carbon. There are no measures in place to control greenhouse gas emission. In some way, in some industry, people are converting this CO into calcium carbonate, and from that they are derived calcium oxide. Many things, but somewhere no carbon dioxide control measures are there, which emitted around 1,000 to 2,000 gigatons of carbon, which will be responsible to the atmosphere. The key drivers for energy use including, we are all knowing that population growth, urbanization, total gross domestic product, income and energy intensity equipment and vehicle, whatever we are using, and which drives the influenced by changes in consumer preferences, energy and technology costs, settlement and infrastructure pattern, technical progress and overall economic condition. Altogether, we can say simply the modern civilization. This is responsible for the increase in demand of energy use. The direct effects of land use and land use changes and the response of terrestrial ecosystem to CO2 carbon fertilization, nutrient deposition, climate variation and disturbance. These are also reason for this carbon dioxide extra accumulation, which exacerbate an adverse effect of anthropogenic CO2 emissions. Due to the limited information of forest and agriculture land use management practices, global estimate of CO2 emission from land use change tend to be based entirely on net deforestation and afforestation values. Moreover, the limited uncertainties, the anthropogenic greenhouse gases are thought to have a positive radioactive posing effect. With the greater concentration of these gases creates an enhanced greenhouse effect by absorbing more infrared radiation from the Earth's surface, which increases the mean global surface temperature. That is called global warming. Because of that global warming only, this climate change started making problem. Understand, this is about the climate change, how it is responsible, how it is governed by the solar radiation, greenhouse effect, a natural process, and anthropogenic influences. Next one is carbon accounting. Carbon accounting, why people are doing? Actually, we would have studied that based on the carbon half-life period only, we can understand the life of anything, any old thing. Life period or lifetime, everything can be assessed based on the carbon half-life period. But this carbon, when they are using in an anthropogenic mode, it became a pollutant. The same thing which serves the Earth's surface in many important parameters of how we'll see now. Carbon accounting. There are different forms of carbons are available in the Earth's surface, and this carbon will play an important role in the carbon cycle. The main form of carbons are inorganic carbon in rocks, that is in the form of carbonate and bicarbonate, and organic carbon, that is in the form of living things including plant and animal, and the carbon gases as it is in the form of carbon dioxide, methane and carbon monoxide, carbon cycling is really all about the movement of carbon from one form to another form in between or within whatever the mentioned sources. This carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere are related to the volcanic activity when we consider that the CO2 has varied over a large range in our atmosphere in the geologic past. But nowadays, the volcanic activity is high. The CO2 concentration in the atmosphere is also high due to the release of more carbon dioxide from the volcanic process into the atmosphere. But a single volcanic eruption today have much less effect on the atmosphere CO2 concentration, but can release a particle into the atmosphere that causes temporary cooling of Earth's surface, but it is not making any serious impact on climate change. But very important thing I wanted to say about rock weathering. Rock weathering means I told you that the carbon is stored in the rock as in the form of inorganic carbon, that is carbonate and bicarbonate form. When this carbonate and bicarbonate, how it is stored in the rock and how it is coming out of the rock to the atmosphere, we'll see. Actually, rock weathering. CO2 concentration, it is very limited over geological time, a range of 200 to 600 parts per million or milligram per liter in the atmosphere, meter cube of air in the atmosphere, due to the weathering of rocks and the formation of carbonate minerals. Actually, which shows that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, whatever the carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere, which will be consumed in the weathering of many rocks. How it is consumed? Due to the weathering, which produces bicarbonate ions, a form of inorganic carbon and calcium ions. Then these two are transported into the river water and ocean water. The ones in the ocean and the calcium and bicarbonate combined together by microorganism or any organism which is present in the ocean, that will form the calcium carbonate. That calcium carbonate, which is nothing but the mineral that is found in the shells in the ocean or sea. This calcium carbonate mineral is buried in the sediments which are all there in the sea, and eventually it comes under great temperature and pressure in the sea itself. And when it is coming into the high temperature and pressure, it has started melted, and during the process of subduction, where the one tectonic plate moves under the another, where the melted rock rises to the surface, that is in the form of magma. And that time it is released back to the surface of the earth through the volcanoes, that is in the form of carbon dioxide. This high temperature process also converts some of the calcium carbonate back to the carbon dioxide, which is released to the atmosphere to begin the cycle again. So this carbon dioxide again is coming out of the process of magma, and from the calcium carbonate. This same calcium carbonate, how it forms, the carbon dioxide is absorbed by the weathering process in the rock. There it forms calcium ion as well as bicarbonate ion. This calcium ion and bicarbonate combinedly to make calcium carbonate. This calcium carbonate, which is nothing but the shells which are available in the sea, that calcium carbonate, when it undergoes a high pressure and temperature, that by the process of subduction, which releases and coming out in the form of magma, when it comes out, which releases carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is being circulated through the rock weathering process. This is very important when we are studying about it. Next one is human activity. Humans are changing the carbon dioxide cycle by burning fossil fuels and biomass. And we can say that already I told you that land use changes. This increases considerably carbon dioxide to link to increasing warming in our atmosphere, as we discussed everything in detail earlier. This contribution is about 200 milligram per meter cube of air before human-induced changes began occurring in the 150 years before. But in our atmosphere, anyhow, the carbon dioxide concentration is keep on increasing by burning of carbonaceous material. So nowadays, everybody is talking about the climate change, global warming, industrial pollution, this, that, and totally the temperature started increases. That's what climate change occurs. Now I ask the question, All the problem is coming because of carbon dioxide only, isn't it? Whatever the mentioned problem in today's class, it is coming by or arised by the release of carbon dioxide only. Yes or not? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
how
ma'am.
to control it?
Forestation, ma'am.
Afforestation is one of the reason. Okay. Where will do afforestation? There is no land now. We are converting into the apartment. No.
Indoor plants, we can grow indoor plants.
My God, indoor plants.
Indoor
how
plants,
much?
plants, outdoor plants, or
Indoor plants and outdoor plants will meet the demand
no, ma'am. To some extent.
to some extent. So, what could be the final solution for this? So,
By
the release of yeah.
controlling of emissions from the vehicles.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you do?
Electric vehicles,
using of
using of electric.
So, electrical vehicles are already in the market. How many of you bought? Why you
No,
didn't
madam.
buy?
Not yet, madam.
Huh? No, I didn't hear you. What did you say, sir?
We didn't
It is
get
available
it
in the market. Why you didn't buy?
due to lack of money, ma'am.
You
We
have
have working conditions, ma'am.
Huh?
Working condition of the
Vehicle. They released
that-
new product, no, ma'am.
No, ma'am. That I can say that electric motorbike is available for more than 20 years in the market. Even when I was doing PG, it was available.
Okay, ma'am.
My classmates were using it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it is not the new technology newly available. Why we are not buying? That is the question. We know that is available. We are not buying. Why?
Yeah, ma'am. Due to not
In
availability of
market,
charging ports
it's
as a
not
petrol
there.
pump.
Yeah, yeah. Charging points are not there.
That means you don't have electric facility at your home.
We have, ma'am. If we'll go out of station, within city, we can use the electric vehicles, electric cars like that.
We might
Every
have.
day you are going out of the city.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
When we use
Still,
car,
you people, now you know the answer, but none of you are coming out.
Yes,
I expect that who can answer to me. We know that those vehicles are available in the market, and many advertisement also came into the picture nowadays. We know that whatever the fossil fuel based vehicles are, if you are using, what kind of problem is coming. We know the positive impact of electrical vehicle and the negative impact of fossil fuel vehicle. But still we are not going to electrical vehicle, we are going to the fossil fuel vehicle only. I am asking why. Why? Anyone can answer. But you know the answer. Suppose if I will tell you, you please sell out your motorbike and you buy the electrical vehicle, you will not buy. Why? Why you will not buy? I will ask you.
mileage, ma'am.
Mileage that gives us
Yeah, it will. We have to charge regularly.
So which one is cost effective?
Cost is electric vehicles are useful.
Then why you are not buying?
In market, newly available products.
Long
no,
run we
ma'am.
can't able to. In long run we cannot able to use them.
Oh no, all your answers are wrong. That's what you are not buying. You for long run you cannot use. That's what you didn't
No,
buy.
ma'am, like if we go for long journey, we can't use electrical vehicles. Ma'am.
Yeah,
Within the city we can use. Within the city we can
Every
use.
day you are going for a long journey. In your life per year, how many times you are going for a long journey?
Ma'am,
No,
we
ma'am,
only
like if we
No, I am coming to the point. No,
It depends upon the requirement, ma'am.
I will tell you, people are doing the research. Alternatives are coming into the picture. People are doing, introducing many things to protect our environment. We know the problem of environment. they are doing all this kind of technology development for the community like our public like us only. We are not respecting. Why we are not respecting? The reason behind the thing is only one factor, that is whatever the things we are having with that, we are highly comfortable. We don't want to go that take any sort of risk and responsibility to do more work. If you buy electrical vehicle, you have to charge the vehicle regularly. You have to carefully fit it and you have to carefully carry out every day. You're supposed to have the conscious. Isn't it? So if when you are not doing like this, half of the way vehicle will be stopped, then you cannot take the tension. But if you are using this fossil fuel vehicle, if petrol is there or you start the bike, on the way you will put the petrol and you will go. That is sophistication, that luxuriness, whatever you have enjoyed with the fossil fuels, you cannot get it in the electrical vehicle. You're supposed to put some of more effort to maintain your vehicle that you don't want to do. Whatever you are telling, you have to go for long journey, we cannot use it for every day. Are you going for long journey? Every day you are going for other places? No. Most of the time, most of the lifetime in our each and everybody, they are spending in official environment only. For going and coming official purpose, that vehicle is more than enough. But we are not comfortable with that. That is the reason. If you introduce anything, if you provide anything, some of the things will come into the picture also. If it is not within our comfort zone, we will not buy, we will not get it. That is the reason the environment is going into the question mark. Nowadays, we are enjoying. We, our forefathers, our parents, our kids, even our grandchildren also can enjoy. But our grandchildren's grandchildren, how they are going to live, how they are going to enjoy in this environment, we do not know. For your kind information, already globally, more than 40% or 20 to 40% of people are affected by this environmental pollution. Once the people have problem means, they will survive for 10 to 12 years. More than that, they cannot survive. Even in that survival period, also they have to suffer a lot for regular, normal survival. This is the condition. Even if we will come to know many things also, we will not buy anything. We won't take any sort of risk and responsibility to protect our environment. This is what I wanted to tell. Now I am asking the question, because of carbon dioxide only, this environmental problem is occurring this much level, especially on the basis of climate change and global warming, I said. Now we stop release this carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This problem can be minimized. It cannot be stopped, I said. It can be minimized. Instead of affecting your grandchildren's grandchildren, their grandchildren's grandchildren may affect. That is only the difference. Okay? Instead of 50 years, I am telling 100 years. Instead of 100 years, we can say 200 years. That's all, not more than that. Now you tell me that this carbon dioxide emission, how it could be reduced?
By growing plants, ma'am.
That is one of the reasons growing plants, afforestation, energy plantation. People have introduced this technology more than 30 years before, but it didn't materialize. After introduction of everything, still the global warming is there. Climate change came into the picture widely. Anything else can be done?
Old vehicles are not used, madam. That about
Old vehicles not used in the sense, the vehicles are only the source for carbon dioxide emission. No industrial and power plants are not responsible for that.
Responsible.
Solar energy. By using solar energy, increase in the use of solar energy.
Okay, increase in the use of solar energy. Those are all the alternative people have introduced. That is being from 19th century onwards, people are giving subsidies, especially from Indian government. They are promoting like anything to increase the sales and services also through the government departments. But how many people are using? It cannot be afforded for all average people because the cost of solar energy equipments or devices are very high. Everyone cannot afford. Even for country like India, it is a good alternative technology, but economically it is not feasible technology. That's what all people cannot be afforded. Understand? It is not a new technology. It is existing technology. 19th century itself it is developed. Then what? Before independence itself, people have identified. After independence, people started using it. Then what? Anyhow, I would like to say, we have lived in a comfortable zone. If we wanted to have two-wheeler, four-wheeler, fan, TV, all sophisticated in devices, electrical appliances, AC, fridge, what else is there? Everything wanted to use. For everything, it needs electricity. Without electricity, we cannot live even one full day. Without food, you can stay. Simply you lie down for a whole day. But without electricity from morning 6 to evening 6, can you live? Especially in the summer in Hyderabad? It is quite difficult, isn't it? Why? I am lying or what? I am not telling the truth. Or anything abnormally I am telling.
No,
People are not responding. Okay, leave. So anyhow, without power, we cannot survive. Power is must. And when the government supposed to meet the demand. Earlier days, how much they have generated, how many megawatts it is being increased nowadays, it is around 30% to 40% is being increased. They are buying from nearby state also. So day by day, it is increasing. That cannot be stopped. So power generation cannot be stopped. All the luxury unit running at home cannot be stopped. All the vehicle runnings on the roads cannot be stopped. All the industrial development is it must for our own lifestyle or civilization. They wanted to wear this kind of clothes, that kind of clothes, this modern food, that modern. So industrialization also cannot be stopped. For everything power needs, that cannot be stopped. But environment has to be protected. How it could be done? You understood? Is it clear? The question is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Everything you want, but everything we want, but environment supposed to be protected. How it is possible?
We should use public transport, ma'am, instead of individual transport.
So how many of you are using?
In practical means.
That is the problem, madam. I would like to say each and every one of us should take responsibility. That we are not taking.
Government should,
because government cannot insta. Government is giving the provision. We are giving the public transport, you use it.
Metro lines,
They are not responsible.
Yeah.
Understand? We are giving the bus. We are giving the local trains. We are giving this X, Y, Z. You have to use. If you are not using means what they will do? If they are not providing means we will blame on them. If they are providing, we are not.
Yeah, ma'am. Every individual should feel personal responsibility.
These are all on the paper. These are all on a statement. No one will follow.
Yeah.
One question I will ask you: this use of polythene cover, which affect the ecosystem severely, everybody knows. Yes, and the people have written here and they don't use polythene bags. Don't throw the things here and there. How many of you are following? Or how many of us are following?
I'm following 80%, ma'am. Not full-fledged. Yeah.
Of using polythene cover?
Yeah, I'll carry my own bag, ma'am.
Okay, good, very good.
I will not throw here and there things. Just I throw in dustbin only, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Appreciate you on behalf of everyone.
I will not use even Tupperware plastic also, ma'am, at home. I use Borosil glass.
Okay, very good.
But I have to use in bathroom some buckets, plastic.
Those are all recyclable plastic, man. That is not wrong. Actually, the government is instructing very clearly that the polythene bags are more than 5 micron thickness can be used. The polythene covers are less than 5 micron thickness cannot be used. 5 micron thick polythene bags can be degradable. Degradable material can be used. Reusable material can be used. The things which will not be degraded, which cannot be reused, should not be used. That is the instruction. The polythene covers which people are providing in the what is that called, cloth shops, garment shops, somewhere like that, and all we are collecting and getting and using. No, those are all thick plastic. It will be melted and it can be disposed of very fast. Even whatever
yesterday in Indian paper, they gave an article that plastic is mixing up with blood, ma'am.
Okay.
The water bottles while going through
that
by
is
using
true,
the water bottles. Yeah, plastic water bottles.
Plastics of which grade is having that problem, we should find out.
Okay, ma'am.
All plastics are not danger.
Food grade plastic is good.
Yeah, people at Tupperware, they are selling, no, that is good plastic. That will not degrade or decompose, which affects your health.
Okay,
that can be used. The things what grade of plastic we should not use is there, that we should not use.
Okay.
Understand? So altogether, people are making rules and regulation for everything, and everybody is putting their effort to control the carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere for protecting our ecosystem for our forthcoming generation. But none of them can be done anything because of demand, increasing demand, to meet that increasing demand of power and other things for our civilization. So what can be done? Nothing can be done. Recently, people have introduced in the past 15 years before some of the concept to minimize the carbon dioxide release into the atmosphere. This is the question I am giving to you all. In the next class you will come. What is that recent technique to reduce the CO2 release into the atmosphere? You people can search in the net or in the book, wherever you can do. You will come up with the answer, then I will give you the answer. Understand?
Okay, madam.
Okay. Class is going to be over. I hope this class might be useful to you all. I think so. One more thing is there, global warming potential is there. Global warming potential means, actually, this is a mathematical calculation. If any research people wanted to find out how much impact of this global warming potential on the Earth's surface, they have to calculate. For that, they have fixed one constant, constant of particular gas or reference of particular gas, that is called reference gas. With respect to reference gas, then they are finding out the concentration of other greenhouse gases. Based on that, they find out how much could be the temperature changes globally. For that, people have used carbon as a reference gases, the form of carbon dioxide. Based on that, they have developed some formula. Based on that, they were calculating the global warming potential with respect to carbon dioxide. Instead of carbon dioxide, they can use some other gas also. But the problem of this global warming potential concept, it cannot be found for all sort of gases. Only for few gases it can be used. So carbon dioxide, methane, oxides of nitrogen, hydrofluorocarbons, some of the gases only for long-lived gases it can be used. For short-lived gases, this concept cannot be followed for finding of the global warming potential. They have one formula in your book. In that, you just follow it. If you have any doubt during this course time, you can approach me. You can ask me. And another one is ozone, stratospheric ozone depletion. About ozone, I said many things. About ozone depletion, if I wanted to say, means why ozone depletion is happening? Anyone can answer to me? I would have told some time before. Why ozone? About ozone I spoke, isn't it? Many times. It is a useful gas, it is a poison gas. Where it is useful, where it is poisonous, I have explained. But ozone depletion is occurred. Because of that ozone depletion only, ultraviolet radiation started coming to the Earth's surface, which makes many cancer types for living things that we have studied. Okay, what is ozone depletion? Ozone depletion means what?
Ozone.
Reducing the ozone layer, madam.
Reducing the ozone layer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holes also. Spots also in this layer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It is correct only. Actually, 15 to 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface, that is blue pungent smelling gas, that is important for life. Along with oxygen, it is called ozone. Again, I don't want to say the mentioned same parameter. Actually, which makes from a fragile shield, which it is remarkably effective in that particular layer. It is scattered very thinly through the 35 kilometer stratosphere layer. This is very thinnest filters efficiently, which screens out almost all the harmful ultraviolet radiation which comes out of sun. It stops ultraviolet B and ultraviolet C rays, which have the shortest wavelength and the dangerous to the light. At the same time, ultraviolet A is relatively harmless, so which is penetrated through that. Some of the chlorofluorocarbon were regarded as a miraculous substance useful by both industries and the consumer and Earth surface. They are inert and immensely stable, neither flammable nor poisonous gas, which are all easy to store and is cheap to produce, and which is designed for especially the modern world. And because of this stable structure, which enables them to attack the ozone layer. When it is affected, which is slowly drift up to the stratosphere layer, where intense UV ultraviolet C radiation type is there, severe their climate bonds, and releasing the chlorine, where strips an atom from the ozone molecule, which turn into the ordinary oxygen molecule. Every chlorofluorocarbon molecule destroys thousands of ozone molecules. Because of that only, the ozone O3 form is break down into molecular oxygen O2 and atomic oxygen O. Wherever the reaction is happening like that, the ozone layer, it makes a hole. That is called ozone depletion. You got my point? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. But the scientific assessment panel report in the year 1991 on the ozone layer, which confirmed ozone continues to deplete in all altitudes except over the tropics. The overall decline ozone is overall as in the range of 3%. Every decade it's happening. And the depletion of ozone in the lower stratosphere, that is 12 to 23 kilometers above the Earth's surface per decade, is 10%. Which is huge. Please, somebody is making noise, please. And increased ultraviolet B radiation has been observed and because conjunction with ozone depletion. More than 1% ultraviolet B level for each person decreases in ozone. Try to understand that. Incidents such as volcanic eruption increases this ozone loss by enhancing the effect. More than that, the UNEP effort which takes some production to protect the ozone layer, they have taken an action, that is, UNEP took up the issue in 1976, adopted a simple but effective approach, that is, first, you have to concentrate on assessment of problem by convening a meeting of experts on the ozone in the year 1977. They have started. Then the recommendation of the meeting is UNEP set up a coordinating committee of the ozone layer in cooperation with the World Meteorological Organization. Then what they have done, this CCOL, that is Coordinated Committee, consisted of the leading expert of the world on the ozone layer. This committee provided regular assessment of the statement of ozone layer, which coordinated further research for the next 10 years, and it attracted international interest and promote the action on ozone layer protection. The process led to the Vienna Convention for the protection of the ozone layer in 1985 and the Montreal Protocol of Submission to the depletion of ozone layer in 1987. So these are all the action that has been taken by UNEP because the ozone depletion is occurring, means ultraviolet A will come means no problem, B and C will come means which make the different sort of cancer diseases on living things, not only for human beings, other animals, including the plants. The product only, they have taken this many actions. Understand? So our next part, important part is acid rain. What is meant by acid rain? How it forms, where it affects. impact of this acid rain on human being, animals, and buildings. This is very, very important question. If you want me to take that part, I will take. Otherwise, I will go to the next unit, which we will give it on into your hand. You decide and tell me. And the next thing is, now the class is over. The session is over. Next, Rajita madam may take class. Again, we will meet you at 1:30. Any doubts, any question, you can ask me.
Okay.
Yes.
No, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Okay. So next, shall I handle this acid rain? Acid rain is one of the important questions.
Okay, madam.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
meet. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you. Now Rajita madam will take class.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
I'll tell her to proceed.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.